Thank you for all coming out today, and thank you, Michelle, for that wonderful presentation. I'm Andrea Bifano with the City of Santa Barbara Rental Housing Mediation Program. I've been serving in this position for the past 34 years. I strongly believe in what this program offers to our community. It helps people resolve disputes out of court, and it keeps relationships in place, and it's just a wonderful program for the city, and it's no cost for service. I'm going to provide you with an overview of the Rental Housing Mediation Program and our board. The history and inception of the program. In 1975, landlords and tenants united together and wanted to come up with a program or some forum where they could resolve their disputes out of court and not have to have protracted litigation and bad feelings that go with going to court. And together, landlords and tenants petitioned the Santa Barbara City Council and said, we want this program. And in 1976, the program was formally established. So this is a program of the City of Santa Barbara that the people decided they wanted to have, and council endorsed it. So over the years, the program has changed with its staffing level. I'm very proud and pleased to say we currently have 3 full-time staff members, which is very much needed. And we have City Council appointed board mediators, which I train in mediation and landlord-tenant rules and regulations. The program is located within the Community Development Department of the City of Santa Barbara at 630 Garden Street. And the jurisdictions that we serve are City of Santa Barbara, City of Goleta, and the City of Carpinteria. There are no costs for residents residing in those communities, and the program is not provided for outside that area, those jurisdictions. Program objectives. The program objectives are to resolve landlord-tenant disputes out of court through resolutions, dispute resolution services, including staff consultations and mediations. It's also assists to in the prevention of homelessness by maintaining housing and obtaining an extension to allow the tenants time to transition to alternative housing with dignity when needed. The last objective is to provide outreach and education, which I'm doing here today, to the community on landlord-tenant rules and regulations and mediation. We also have some of our board members here today that are staffing our informational table. We have David McDermott here today as well in this workshop. And we have a wonderful board, which I'll go into in a little bit. What is mediation? Mediation is a voluntary process in which a neutral third party assists disputants between communication and resolving their dispute. Mediation assures confidentiality per the state evidence code from the initial staff contact to the actual mediation. The final agreement written in mediation can be binding and enforceable in a court of law. Mediation differs from other forms of dispute resolution services as it allows the parties to devise their own agreement, and it's confidential. So anything said in the course of or pursuant to mediation is not filed in the court. So people don't have to be concerned about their dispute becoming public knowledge. And because it's a client-devised process where the parties come up with their own solution and terms of agreement, there is a very high success rate. We have pretty much 100% success rate with our face-to-face mediations, and with staff's telephone mediations, it's 95% plus as well. Mediation objectives. Number one, an amicable resolution of the dispute. So the parties have to mutually agree to those terms and feel good about it. It allows the parties to be heard and understood. A lot of times, settling a dispute just means opening up the channels for clear communication, because there might be a misunderstanding that is created this dispute. And thirdly, it assists parties in developing options. It helps them the mediators work at helping them define their terms of agreement. And the mediation can only ever be as successful as the work that the disputants are putting into the process. The benefit of mediation is it avoids litigation, and it helps to maintain relationships. Oftentimes, by mediating these disputes, we can help the parties maintain the landlord-tenant relationship and the continuity of housing. Why choose mediation? Well, per the California Evidence Code, mediation is a confidential process. Anything in the course of or pursuant to a mediation, and anything said in mediation is confidential, except for those terms that the parties devise and put in writing in the form of a binding settlement agreement with the required language. The confidentiality also is maintained in anything said in the mediation. And if a settlement agreement is not reached in mediation, then someone cannot later go into court and say, well, the mediator said this, or the landlord said that, or the tenant said that. It's not admissible in a court of law. So that is one of the reasons why people choose mediation, because they know it allows them to let their fences down and have a conversation with the other party that other than mediation, that is a protected confidential process they might not be able to have otherwise. So I strongly believe in mediation. While I've been with this program for the past 34 years, I'm still excited about it and still continue to keep working. Types of mediations. Well, we offer a face-to-face mediation, but during this COVID, we're successfully holding virtual mediations. So our community really is demanding this service at this time, because they want this opportunity to work their problem out with the party. So either the landlord can request the mediation, or the tenant can request the mediation. Our mediation service, unlike other mediation, a private mediator, our program provides for co-mediation. So there's a minimum of 2 mediators facilitating the process. And the saying is, 2 heads are better than 1. Sometimes having 2 people there, someone can maybe identify more with one versus the other. The mediators can call for a caucus and help with brainstorming ideas. And we just find that co-mediation with 2 or more mediators lends us to this 100% success rate. Telephone conciliations, they are available. So if a party prefers not to have a face-to-face or virtual mediation, staff can conduct conciliation by talking to the parties separate and independent of the other to help them convey offers and reach a settlement agreement. The mediation outcome leads to agreements that are binding and enforceable in a court of law. Very, very seldom do we have a situation where the parties do not come to terms of agreement. But should that occur, they are free to choose another venue. So there's nothing lost by trying mediation. Who are the mediators? Well, I'm very proud and pleased to say that they are members from our community. We are allowed to have up to 15 city council appointed members, and we currently have 13, and we're recruiting for an additional 2 at this time. Again, they are appointed by the Santa Barbara City Council, and they come with diverse professional backgrounds, and I think that is really helpful to aiding in the success of the mediations. They bring their backgrounds with them to the mediation, and they are trained in accordance with the California Dispute Resolution Programs Act and those guidelines. We have 3 categories of mediators: 5 landlords, 5 tenants, and 5 homeowners. And that ensures the neutrality of the board. Our Rental Housing Mediation Board members for 2025 are listed here on the screen. I'd like to say Lisa Beck is our chair, our current chair. Michelle Robertson, who spoke earlier, is our vice chair. And Janet Eastman is our secretary. We also have Natalia Olicarn, Richard Axelrod, Corey Baker, Gina Dressel, Justin Dolam, Rigoberto Gutierrez, Daniel Herlinger, Marilyn Luperfido, and David McDermott, who is here right now, and Bruce Wallenberg. I wanted to share their names because they don't get paid for their service, and they're very dedicated and devoted to our community and to the mediation process, and I feel that they really deserve some recognition. Who are the participants? Mediations can be multi-party and include participants such as landlord-tenant, roommate-roommate. Due to the high cost of housing, a lot of people are sharing living space. So sometimes within the household they have their disputes. Well, we help mediate those. We also do neighbor-neighbor dispute resolution, and as long as they are not homeowners. So our services pertain specifically to residential rental housing. Participants can also include advocates, attorneys, agents, and representatives. Oftentimes people will bring a support person of some type with them to the mediation. And we've even had people bring their support animals when needed. So, and witnesses are allowed as well. Although witnesses usually stay outside the mediation and are only called in to report on that which their testimony is needed. What are their rental housing issues? Termination of tenancies is the number one issue at 32%. Mandatory lease offer, just cause eviction, no fault eviction, relocation assistance, security deposits, rent increase, habitability, discrimination, invasion of privacy, unlawful detainers, foreclosures, determination by tenant. That would be like the breaking of a lease, enforcement, displacement, and foreclosures. Our year-to-date totals last year were approximately 1,100. Why is mediation needed? Because conflict is inherent in our society. Miscommunication and misinformation lead to various types of conflict, resulting in a negative outcome. And there's a win-lose dynamic. I'm right, you're wrong. Mediation can transform conflict into a positive outcome through neutral third-party communication. People need to consider, and the mediators do a reality check with them, what will happen, what are their options if they don't resolve this their dispute in mediation. And so there's various impacts and implications that could occur. The stakes are very high for the disputants, so that is a good motivator for them to settle this at no cost in mediation. Benefits of mediation. Triple win. Mediation levels the playing field. it doesn't matter what the person's role is. When they come to mediation, they are at the same level at that time. And that is a big benefit. They can feel freely to speak to the other person. It allows people to be heard and understood, identify and satisfy underlying issues. The parties are in control of the settlement, and they devise their own terms. The parties also goal is to receive an amicable resolution, and it results in a win for the landlord, win for the tenant and the community. It helps preserve our precious resources that we have by not overcrowding the court, and it prevents homelessness by the parties working out their housing situation. Settlement agreements. The agreements are subject to disclosure. I'm just going to say binding settlement agreements can be enforceable in a court of law if they have certain required language in them per the California Civil Code. Summary and key to success. Mediation brings a human factor. It's not just you're the landlord, I'm the tenant situation. It allows the parties have eye contact and personal interaction. It assists them in finding common ground. We like to ask parties to reflect on something that they initially liked about the other person and look at what they do have in common. We also ask the parties to stand in the shoes of the other party to see how they would want to resolve their dispute if their roles were reversed. We also do a reality check, and the success of mediation is usually the people are very satisfied, and it restores mutual respect, which is very important. And throughout the mediation, the focus is on resolution, the present, and moving forward. We have some resources for you. There's the lawyer referral service sponsored by the Santa Barbara County Bar. Their phone number is listed for you, 805-569-5400. There's the Legal Resource Center of Santa Barbara County, and you can see their phone number and their website. And there's the Legal Aid Foundation of Santa Barbara County. That is for tenants only, and their contact and email is listed for you in this PowerPoint. You can contact us by the Rental Housing Mediation Program's website, and you can contact myself, Andrea Bifano, Alba Marshall, Rental Housing Mediation Specialist, and Raymond Rango, Rental Housing Mediation Specialist. And our main line is 805-564-5420. I really encourage you to try mediation. We have found it to be very successful for our community, and I really thank you for this time, for sharing this very important program. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for either of our presenters today? I actually have a couple for the rental mediation program. So, usually, what is the turnaround time for resolving the dispute?
It depends if the parties want to convey offers over the telephone or if they're willing to come to a virtual mediation. Sometimes we can set up a virtual mediation in as little as 1 week. We do like to have 2 weeks so that we can avail the services of our mediators with ease, as they are working professionals and do need to take time off their jobs to come in. But we definitely try to accommodate people within a speedy time frame.
And then usually is it, how can do you guys only take referrals for the program, or is it through those 3 agencies that you pointed out?
Well, there's many agencies within our community that that assist the program, that make referrals to the program. The program has been in operation since 1976, so a lot of the governmental offices refer people to us, social service agencies, advocacies, agencies make referrals, word of mouth. So the program is very well known. And the phone number and information is on the city's website, and it is on the government scrolls for the city of Santa Barbara, city of Goleta, and city of Carpinteria. So people do see advertisement for the program as well. Yeah, anyone can call. You do not need a referral. So someone can start a case simply by calling the office and speaking with the staff person.
Thank you.